Welcome to the Impactful Engineer Project. I'm Steve Maxey, and with my co-host and brother Jake, we are here to bring you guidance, fresh ideas, and the tools to help you become an impactful engineer. Welcome to the Impactful Engineer. Our mission is to help you grow your engineering career and inspire you to pursue your full potential as not only an engineering professional, but as a member of your greater community. I'm Steve Maxey, and I'm a mechanical engineering manager in new product development. And I'm here with my brother Jake, who owns and operates NLS Engineering, an electrical engineering partner in the AEC industry. What's up, Jacob?
What's going on, man? I'm ready to get right to it today.
Right to it? All right.
What do you
why don't you do a real quick housekeeping episode for my thing.
Yeah.
Just blast through it.
All right. We got Steve and I getting on here, talking about something we think will help you improve your career, tell you how to do it, why, and go figure it out. 2, sometimes we'll get on by ourselves and do the same thing, but it's something that we're really passionate about, that we really want to convey just from our own thoughts. And then 3, sometimes we'll bring a guest on, someone who's an expert in a particular area, all on their own, and could teach us some things while we all teach you guys some things. That's the 3 episode types that we have.
Heck yeah.
There you go.
All right. So I want to paint a scenario picture thing here. Real descriptive, very professional. All right. So I have a longtime friend who's an engineer as well. I don't work with him anymore, but I worked with him in the past, and he is still at the same job. He's a great engineer. He produces results. He's a super hard worker, puts in time, gets the job done, and is looked to as the expert in the organization for the products that they do. He's still making probably 65 to 75% of market value to this day. And I've been telling him time and time again that he needs to change that. He needs to fix it. And I think the reason why I bring this up is because I think there's a lot of engineers out there who focus on being excellent engineers from a technical and results standpoint, right? Which is important, right? You want to be very competent in your job and you want to produce results, but pure results cannot speak for you as an advocate for you to move up in your career alone. And I think that's what we need to talk about is how do you find large success beyond just producing results? So what do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, it's a thing. And if it's a thing for you and you're worried about it, then listen to this episode. If it's not, and you don't care, drop out. There's no shoulds, there's no you have tos, there's no, but if this is a thing for you, it's a real thing. And sounds like this person, I mean, if it's a real thing for them too, and it might be something they bring up all the time and wonder about, then I don't know how many years they've been doing engineering, but it can be years that go by.
Yeah. This is
not making what you want to make, and you get to want to make a certain amount.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it.
This specific example, he's been in engineering for 10 years and at his current role for like 7.
Yeah. Yeah. And making 60% to 70%. Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. Yeah.
You got to ask yourself what you aren't doing. If you're thinking, if you are below market rate, whatever that means, why are you? There's gotta be some questioning there.
Yeah. And it's not just questions that you have to ask yourself. I mean, you do, but you also need to ask your manager, and ask your leadership team, like, hey, how do I get up to that market rate? How do I make, and give them an actual number, like, hey, I need to make X amount of money. I provide value by XXXX, and I feel that, this would be an appropriate compensation, and then just put it in their court and let them mull it over and get back to you, et cetera. And follow up. Don't just let them think about it.
Yeah. That's how I would suggest approaching it. I know there's so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked a lot about it, and we've talked to experts on it as well, on advocacy and all that, and all really good stuff. but I would just say, like, make it apparent that that's your goal and that that's what you're going for, so that you can be like, well, yeah, we talked about this, and I wanted to make it my goal to make, 150 grand a year, and I said, what are the things to get us there? And you laid some things out, and we did our best, and we talked about it and checked up on each other, and I pushed hard, and I worked the extra hours, and I did all this stuff, and do I got it? Like, do I have the stuff? Am I on the right path? And then if nothing is happening, then you just have a misalignment, like
Mm-hmm.
where you
Yeah.
want to go and fit and do is not what they're ready to give you. Then there's a discussion there that needs to happen, like,
Yeah.
or a decision, not a discussion, a decision, like, where do I go now? There's so many
Yeah.
places to go. And if you're like a super loyal person, and you value that above everything else, and that's what's holding you back, like, I would question that belief. Is it your belief? Who instilled that belief in you? How do you break it, just to see what's on the other side? Like, you don't have to hide behind this loyalty thing, like, oh, I've been working here and they've been taking care of me. And it's like, okay, well, then what does taking care of you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does it mean paying you 60% of market rate and raises are minimal and you get more and more responsibility? It could be that that's
Yeah.
their version of taking care of you, is giving you more work when you're good at it and not giving you a raise. Okay, great. Then
Yeah.
decide if you like that version of being taken care of or not. But you should challenge it.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I do want to bring up is it might not necessarily be that the company is purposely keeping you down or not paying you, what you're worth, quote unquote. It could be that leadership doesn't know who you are or what you do to the full extent of your contributions.
Yeah.
So, and this is where the self advocacy and visibility becomes so important, right? To make sure that, I mean, you're not going to go around bragging, oh, I did this and I did that and I did this, but being visible and not only in your results, but just in who you are and how you carry yourself and conduct yourself in the business is critically important. Because if you're just plugged away in a cubicle in the corner in the back of the building or the basement or something, and no one knows what you're doing, all they see is these results of these great projects, that the only people who are going to get that recognition are the people that you report to typically, because they're the ones who have the visibility. They're the ones who are reaping the benefits of the overall project success, right? And so being visible, being part of the conversation, is super critical for you to get that recognition from leadership and advanced management.
Yeah, so that's another scenario
Mm-hmm.
for sure. That's actually pretty common, that the only people that, because it's, who are you talking to every day? I mean, it's going to be your boss, right? But like, the further you go, and that's that sphere of influence thing that we've always talked about, or that we had in an episode, it's like, as it goes farther away, it's just going to get weaker. So yeah, people that have the power to make those decisions need to be aware of who you are and what you're doing, for sure. um, because you can run into a boss that you could be as communicative as you want, they just don't know how to handle it too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're thinking they're relaying the messaging along, but they're not at all. Could be that way too. So yeah, I would say do everything you can to make sure that you're seen and people know who you are.
Yeah.
But I guess no buts. Where my original advice was coming from was that I think that if you are relentless in your building of metrics, setting of goals, um, doing the behaviors that lead to success, and talking about it and having multiple reviews, like, that whole process is going to show you the system that you're in at the time that you're in it. It's not good or bad. It's not the company's doing it on purpose. It's none of that. It's just revealing the truth of the situation that you're in. If you engage more and talk about it and go through the process and force it to happen, because you'll get a million different responses, like, man, you push too much and it's all about you and your advancement, and we just don't do that here. Like, what are you doing? You can get that.
Yeah.
Oh man, you get the complete other side. Man, we're doing so well because you're on this, and you're reminding me I got a million things to do, and You force the one-on-ones to happen. You put it on the calendar. You remind me about these things, and I can see some good things coming down for us and for you. You get that result too, and then everything in between. But you're not going to know if you just work and that's it.
Yeah, if you expect your results to be your only advocacy.
Yeah, yeah. So it just engaging relentlessly flushes all that stuff out.
Yeah.
And then you can pivot and do some of the things you're talking about, Steve, and some of the things we have talked about. Once you know the lay of the land, then you can be like, okay, this, because I know this, and this specific tactic here is going to work really well amongst those variables that I'm tracking and that I've seen how it propagates through the, I've seen how Joe got his raise, and I've, whatever. Like, then you know how to play the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's important to get a lay of the land, do the things within your power to increase your visibility, and have the conversations about where you want to be to your management. And if all those things that we've talked about so far fail and you're still stuck, I mean, that's when you can start to think about looking elsewhere if you need to. If the organization is just not set up to develop and grow engineers, then maybe you need to look for something else. That could be the conversation. Doesn't mean it's always going to be the conversation, but it could be.
Yeah. You can't decide what to do if you don't have any of the inputs. So
yeah,
you've got to be asking. I don't know. I think lately I've just been about action. Just like I guess I'm always about action, but
yeah.
So much so that it's bleeding over. It really is. It's bleeding over into my thought process and what I want to say to people, because I'm just so tired of trying to explain belief into people. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just got to go out and do it a lot.
I mean, so what you're saying there is almost leading by example, right? You take the actions and you try things out, and then you'll see what the results end up being. And how you can translate that as someone listening is look to around you at the other engineers in your organization and how they've been moving up, and just emulate what they're doing, right? If you work with Bob and he's running meetings and executing projects very well, but also gets great visibility, blah blah blah, or whatever the heck he's doing, try those things. Talk to Bob and be like, hey Bob, how do you operate day to day? How do you manage your conversations with management and leaders and blah blah blah, and just start replicating those actions and start taking those actions, and then see where it leads you.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is you and I have seen, Steve, that just head down work, while it has a lot of benefits to it, is not one of them that is not a benefit, is creating the story of you within the organization that is going to allow the doors of opportunity to open for advancement and raises and whatever the heck else you want out of your career, which you should want a whole heck of a lot. I guess not should, but if
you're listening to this show,
if you're listening to this show, probably you probably desire that. So you can increase the chance that you get what you want by advocating for yourself and figuring out the game instead of just head down working. I would say head down working is something you do in the meantime while you're waiting for this other thing to work for you. So you're not agonizing day to day, because it's a slow process. You're not just going to go talk to your boss and say, I'm interested in moving up and advancing and making more money, which is fine. And then the next week you're going to see tangible process in there.
No, you have to exercise
progress,
patience.
I mean, yeah. So I think the working hard is great as a do this in the meantime, and then piece to figuring this out. So
yeah, and it's not just working hard to work hard, right? You want to have a lot of impact in the things that you're doing. So you don't want to just grind numbers and run sims and make drawings, and that's all you do, and you're just cranking for 80 hours a week. You want to have lasting impact and come up with new processes, more efficient ways to do things. Don't put in 80 hours a week, only put in 40, but still put out 80 hours worth of work, right? Become a more efficient, quote unquote, machine as an engineer. And I think that is going to be much more valuable than just cranking on hours to produce volume, right? Go for the quality.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. So short and sweet. It's not just about results. It's also about visibility and taking action and having conversations with leadership to gain clarity on how you can advance your career. So if you learned something today or think someone else needs to hear this point of view, please share this show, leave us a review. It's the best way we can grow the podcast and continue to create value and impact for the engineering community.